Hi there everybody, and welcome back to more Nancy Drew's Tomb of the Lost Queen. So last time we kind of got to go around and talk to all the major players here. We talked to Abdullah, I'm going to call him Abdullah, and Lily, and Jamila, and Dylan, and I'm moving my mouse around trying to point to each one as if they're all here, but they're not. And this time I'm hoping we can actually solve some puzzles, although I don't really know what there is to solve yet. We got these two bird things, so I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to call our phone contacts, our phone of friends, and see what they had to say. Yeah, here's the news music.
Hi, Bess.
Nancy, how goes the old mummy hunt?
Good, I think. Maybe bad.
Something happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
There was a sandstorm, and the professor from Kingston had to be taken to the hospital.
Nancy, be careful out there. It sounds dangerous.
I will.
George is all wrapped up in that new job of hers, but you can call me anytime you need help. Full disclosure, while I do play an Egyptologist on television, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Wait, you play an Egyptologist on television? I wonder how she landed that gig.
We found the tomb!
Way to go!
But when I opened it, two strangers showed up.
Really? Aren't you in the middle of nowhere?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe they were just out for a walk. In the desert. Nope, doesn't work out. Nancy, what the craziness is happening out there?
No clue. It's like I'm the only one here who doesn't know what's really going on. I don't like that feeling.
You get used to it.
Bess.
Well, it certainly feels that way. Maybe it's time to call this one a wrap.
Are you kidding?
I can't until John's back. I just need to keep my head on straight and try to keep the site in order.
That's exactly like this one part of Revenge of the Desert Queen. So everybody...
Is this going to be an anecdote where someone dies in a cursed tomb?
No,
Okay, continue.
I lied. It was. But I'll just keep it to myself.
You know, Revenge of the Cursed Queen sounds like an awesome name for this game.
I'm really having trouble decoding the hieroglyphs here.
Of course you are. They're hieroglyphs. Maybe it's a typo. Do you think they had typos? Like the builder meant to write dog eyeball pharaoh, but accidentally wrote dog eyeball pharaoh?
I don't think that would be all that common.
Yeah.
Then I'm out of ideas. Unless it's a code. Look for a pattern.
So maybe that strange jumble of letters is a code. Let's go through everybody here.
Lily seems very uptight.
Do you think she's hiding something?
No doubt about it. I just don't know if it's relevant.
Strange behavior is rarely irrelevant, especially in a group that isolated.
Yeah.
Good point. Jamila seems to be convinced that aliens built the pyramids.
Cool.
She thinks that this site has some sort of significance to aliens, and they'll be returning soon.
What for?
Who knows? The whole idea makes no sense to me.
I know it's unlikely, but I think if aliens ever came to Earth, I think they'd like me.
What? Why?
Dogs love me, kids love me. I just think we'd be pretty simpatico is all.
I can't tell if Jamila's being sincere or not.
Just brush past my theory, that's fine.
I'm sure they love you.
Yeah, Bess.
That's all I wanted to hear. Go with your instinct, Nancy. You're so good at noticing what people really mean when they speak. Maybe she's saying a little more than she intends to.
I still think Jamila is hiding something.
What's the story?
She says she's here because of the Anunnaki.
I think our connection is bad because it sounds like you said Anunnaki.
I did.
I still think it might be the phone, but continue.
They're the aliens she's into, but I can't figure out why she'd be here now.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask her?
I would, but there are two questions you'll never get a straight answer to. One is, are you lying?
And the other is, are you crazy?
I say that a lot, don't I?
You do, but to be fair, you do exceed the average person's daily allowance of interaction with crazy and or dishonest people.
That is very true. Also, I love how Bess is just totally excited about aliens.
I don't know what to make of this tour guide who appeared out of nowhere.
Is he cute?
Define cute.
Why is this never any fun with you? I have no girly friends.
Fine, yes, he's moderately cute, and he has an accent.
Now we're talking. Anyway, you've you've decided that this cute tour guide with an accent is a problem for some reason?
Well,
His story isn't adding up. If he's a tour guide, why would he show up at a site that might take years to open up to the public?
exactly.
Maybe he's some sort of avant-garde tour guide. You know, way ahead of his time, like that jazz musician you made us see who only played awful notes.
I'm still sorry about that. In my defense, it was for a case.
And in his defense, there's nothing. Long-distance burn, jazz guy.
I want to know what case that's for.
I'm not sure what to do.
Check around to see if there's anything to help you get a better idea of what's going on at the site. Someone should have left some notes around. John probably had some.
I'd better get going.
Bye.
So that's a clue. Maybe we need to go back to the other tent. Let's call John real quick.
Hi.
A tour guide just appeared out of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah, really. He showed up when we found the tomb.
You're 100 kilometers outside of Cairo. That's too far afield to have a wacky next-door neighbor.
Huh?
Sorry. I'm not used to watching this much television. It's doing strange things to my brain. Whatever he says, he didn't just drop in. He must be up to something.
Yeah.
I tried to translate some of the hieroglyphs, but they were complete gibberish.
The whole wall, or just a portion?
Just a portion, I think.
Good. Isolate that part that doesn't translate. Look for a key.
What sort of key?
It could be anything. Take a good look. If something sticks out, see if you can find the same pattern elsewhere.
Okay.
What do you know about Abdullah?
He's almost as brilliant as he thinks he is.
He seems a little full of himself.
Yeah.
A little. With that amount of swagger, you'd think he invented sand.
Do you think he's behind your attack?
I don't think so. This isn't the first time we've butted heads. I'd think that if he were to attack me, he wouldn't sneak up from behind.
I take it Abdullah doesn't like sand. It's coarse, it's rough, it's irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Abdullah seems confused by the hieroglyphs in the tomb.
Really?
You sound surprised.
Astonished, dumbfounded, with a twist of smug thrown in to soothe my ego.
So, if he's confused...
Then it is confusing. He's one of the brightest minds in the field. If he's stumped, something unique is going on here.
Lily seemed upset about me doing any work here.
Show me a PhD student who isn't upset about something, and I'll build you your very own pyramid.
Why would she want to keep me away from your work?
I have no clue. If she wants to play at being in charge, let her. It'll save you a lot of headaches.
Okay, well, we'll play along for now at least.
What do you know about Lily?
Not much. She's with Abdullah's team. It's just strange that she's out there.
Why?
I never say a critical word about a student, but the archaeology community is small, people talk. I guess all I'm going to say is it's surprising Abdullah put her on his team.
You can't just leave it at that. The curiosity center of my brain is going to go into full meltdown.
Yeah.
I can't, Nancy. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to talk about it.
Sounds suspicious to me.
Are you familiar with the Anunnaki?
Oh, please, not you too.
No, Jamila. She's got a lot to say on the topic.
Good. I'm not saying there isn't alien life, but why insist that aliens built the pyramids? Humans have made a mess of so many things. Just let us keep that check mark in the victory column.
I agree.
How's the recovery coming?
Good. I am at the point where watching television is tedious again, so that's a good sign. TV is very frustrating for the solution-oriented personality.
I don't think I've heard that before.
It's true. I find myself yelling, "Test your hypothesis before acting on it," at all of the sitcoms. Truthfully, I'm still feeling a little woozy. As soon as I can stand without feeling dizzy, I am on my way back to the site, even if I have to sneak out of here.
John, I don't think sitcoms are very reflective of reality, man.
I'll catch you later.
Catch you later.
Alright, so, let's see. I'm just gonna look around here in the tents again, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because you never know. Oh, I did miss this. Okay, so these are notes, I guess, from Jon. Ooh, okay. And as a result, the same phrase can often be represented with different hieroglyphs. Take the name Paraherwenemet. Okay. Re-I with his strong arm. Indicates royal son, always at end of name. This one is for royal daughter, but his brother uses this thing, which also translates to with his strong arm, or possibly with his right arm, could be open to interpretation. Even the god Ra, aka Re, could be represented by this, or this, or this. No wonder some of these hieroglyphs aren't making any sense. There are numerous locations where whole phrases are undecipherable. They all seem to be marked by the same unique symbol. Could it be the builders of this tomb created their own language? I think I may be starting to break the code. Regardless, the hieroglyphs around the tomb are giving a strong indication of a royal female presence. Could it be the Lost Queen? The partial inscription decoded from the piece removed from the main room certainly seems to say it is.
Part of Jon's notes are missing. That doesn't seem right.
Ooh. The tomb within, sealed behind her titles. Acknowledge them fully with no gaps from left to right, and it shall be opened according thereto. Let it be. Is this the thing that we solved? The puzzle with the symbols on it? I must track down the rest of the inscription. If I can find that, I'll be on the path to the greatest discovery since Tutankhamun. Another big clue. Deciphered. Alright, so we can take Jon's notes with us, which is good. And let's see if we can look in here. Aha! Beach Hill Museum. Oh, that's a reference from Secret of the Scarlet Hand. Dear Jon, I heard at the recent Paris and Williams Archaeological Gala, It's Gala, right? That you are still looking for the perfect applicant to round out your team for your upcoming dig in Egypt. I am writing to recommend Nancy Drew as a candidate for consideration. Nancy worked for us as a deputy curator at Beach Hill Museum, where her observational skills and attention to detail provided an invaluable contribution to the successful opening of our exhibition, Finding the Maya, A Lost Civilization Speaks. I am confident that you would be as pleased with Nancy's work as we were. Her deductive reasoning, perseverance, and intelligence are an ideal match for your team's search for answers in the desert. Feel free to contact me with any questions you may have about Nancy's exceptional talents. Regards, Franklin Rose, President. That's nice. Always good to see continuity. Ooh, light. Alright. So this could be good. A lighter. And we got oil. So do we just light the two? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. We need to actually put that in something, right? Alright, so I think that's all we can do in this, because that looks like there's nothing else there. I can't do anything while Lily is laying there. Looks like she didn't mind us going through Jon's stuff, although I guess she wouldn't have seen that.
Stay out of there!
Oh. Is this her stuff? I guess it could be. So this is... Wait, no, this is not Nancy's stuff. This is Nancy's, right? Okay. Nothing new in here, I don't think. We can't go... Wait. Oh! We didn't look at this last time. The Lost Queens of Egypt by Professor Beatrice Hotchkiss. Oh, another reference to Professor Hotchkiss. Always good to hear from her. Dear Mandy, you were so keen on my book about Marie Antoinette, I knew you'd enjoy my latest work about these magnificent women. If you'd ever like to learn more, I do love to talk about them. Beatrice Hotchkiss, 212-555-3427. Okay. So, this is some information about a lot of different people in Egypt. I'm going to leave that be for now. But we got a number, which is really the most important thing out of that, for now at least. So let's call her real quick. Aw, she still looks the same.
Hotchkiss here?
It's Nancy Drew.
Oh, Francine, dear, I'm so glad you called. I've been having the most infuriating problem with my internet.
This is Nancy Drew.
Oh, you young people are so refreshing, always in search of new identities. The problem is that I downloaded this program called Weather Monkey. At my age, it's important that I keep abreast of all meteorological developments. But now I'm starting a new book, and I can't focus on my work because the weather monkey keeps yelling the weather at me.
Maybe you should uninstall it?
I will do no such thing. That would be tantamount to murder.
Maybe turn it down?
Brilliant and fantastic. Oh, yes, Samantha, you are a ticket. I would love to help you, but how do I know you again?
Nancy, Drew, we've met a few times.
Aha, now I remember you. If life were a good book, you'd be my favorite reoccurring character.
I'm in Egypt, and I need your help.
Egypt? Well, why didn't you say that instead of chattering away about my internet problems?
I don't know how to respond to that. I read your book, and I thought maybe you could help.
You found my book while you were in Egypt. The serendipity is as delectable as Chateaubriand smothered in lavender lemon juice. I am at your disposal.
I didn't exactly find it. You sent it to me. You even signed it.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I sign and send lots of things.
Okay, so there's lots of things we can talk to Professor Hotchkiss about.
Have you heard of an expedition that went off in search of Nefertari years ago?
Oh yes, the team in which everyone died, is that the one?
Yes. Do you think that story is true?
Oh heavens, yes. It's deadly out there in the desert. Think about it. You're going out there in search of dead bodies. There must be a reason they're in favor of the area.
But this expedition wasn't searching for QV66, right?
Indeed not. That had already been discovered. They were searching for Nefertari's mummy.
What do you think happened to them?
Oh, it's best to not concern yourself about that now, given your current location.
That doesn't exactly make me feel better.
Have you heard of Abdullah?
Yes, I have. He is December on my Men of Archaeology calendar.
You're kidding me. Does that exist?
It existed the second I made it. Is he there with you?
Yes. He seems full of himself.
He is. Oh, I am not an advocate of pulpy romance novels, but if I were, I'd call that an archable trait. In Chapter 1, he'd swagger into the excavation site, the picture of a rascal with his dusty leather jacket and decidedly European haircut. His cocky ne'er-do-well smirk displaying his perfectly white teeth, but by the end he'd be sweetly holding flowers and saying, "Professor Hotchkiss, I'm dying to discuss your latest publication." A colleague of mine has guilted me into editing her latest romance novel, and I must confess I cannot wait until the project is completed. Reading page after page is absolutely wreaking havoc on my metaphors. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I no longer know.
Abdullah, that's what. He's a cold-blooded hotshot with only one setting: success. Oh, sorry, I've also been helping my nephew break into the movie trailer business. Oh, Hotchkiss, why must you always burn the candle at both ends? He's a good archaeologist who knows Egypt inside and out. He could teach you a thing or two, just don't pick up the attitude.
Well, if we're going to get Lily and Dylan together, maybe we need to get Professor Hotchkiss and Abdullah together. Man, can you just imagine that? It could be Hotchula or Abdulkiss. Okay, let's not try to go down that road.
I need your help. The hieroglyphs here don't make sense.
Then you are in for a treat. I like my puzzles as tempting as the gooseberry pie from San Rios in Little Brazil, and as complex as the ginger lime sauce they lovingly smother it in.
Okay.
You should focus on what doesn't make sense. Look for a part of the pattern that has no earthly business being there.
Well, we kind of found something like that.
What do you know about Nefertari?
Ah, a love story. Oh, break out the tissue papyrus, because when I'm done, there won't be a dry Horus in the house.
What?
Look it up, dear. Ramses II and Nefertari shared a love so vast, the world could scarcely contain it. I'm talking about the kind of love you spell capital L, capital O, heart instead of a V, capital E. They stood side by side and ruled the world, but as they saw the years stretch out before them, they were keenly aware that a handful of decades would never cut it. They needed to be together always.
That's sweet.
And relevant.
The ancient Egyptians believed that life was little more than a dress rehearsal for eternity. I've found records that they concocted a plan to be together forever, side by side.
Why not be buried side by side?
They foresaw a volatile future for their kingdom, and they were correct. They knew they would have to enact safeguards. That's why in 1904, when QV-66, the so-called tomb of Nefertari, was found, her body was not there.
What are the chances we found Nefertari's tomb?
If I were a gambling Hotchkiss, I'd say 60-40.
Interesting.
I still don't get all this business with QV-66. Why build a fake tomb?
For the same reason I never carry my passport in my purse when I travel. Some things are too valuable to leave in a tempting place.
You mentioned an expedition that found QV-66, Nefertari's tomb.
It was one of the most significant finds in archaeology. They call it the Sistine Chapel of Egypt. It's where my fascination with the royalty of Egypt was born. The color alone took my breath away. We think of ancient Egypt as being a subdued sand color, but it was a riotous display with all the visual delights of a midsummer gelato shop cooler case.
And you don't think Nefertari was entombed there?
They only found kneecaps, which supposedly means that her tomb was robbed.
You disagree?
I do. What good is the mummy without the context? It's the placement in the tomb that makes the mummy valuable.
Professor Hotchkiss seems to like food a lot.
Why is Nefertari so important?
There are two queens I find most fascinating in ancient Egypt, and for exactly the same reason. They were hidden. Hatshepsut is the first.
I think I've heard of her. She was the pharaoh that was almost removed from the historical record, right?
Exactly. 20-some years of peace and stability, and after she dies, Thutmose III's ancient cronies try to erase her from the record.
Why?
Jealousy, revenge, fear that his reign would never equal hers. You name it, but you can't keep a good woman down. Despite the efforts of Thutmose III's supporters, her legacy endured.
All right.
And Nefertari?
In my opinion, she's the opposite. She was obsessively preserved in the historical record, but it was her tomb that was hidden.
How sure are you that Nefertari's tomb was hidden?
There was something strange about QV-66. I think that might be why it is off limits to this day.
It is?
To you and me, at the very least. There is a rumor that the tomb has a clue to the true location of Nefertari's mummy.
Really?
Who knows? I'll tell you this. I didn't have time to read all of the hieroglyphs, but I noticed that the syntax was a little, shall we say, wonky?
I don't know how hieroglyph syntax could be non-wonky.
True, but it was almost as if Nefertari and Ramses II had their own language.
John was wondering about that.
Lily seems to be taking this curse business very seriously.
I thought you were, Lily.
The other Lily?
Hotchkiss prank! Oh, you're such a good sport, Nadine.
What?
That's a little silly of her, don't you think? Curses may only be a figment of our overactive imaginations.
That's what I think.
There are more pressing things to worry about. Most Egyptologists die because the desert is inhospitable and positively crawling with diseases. Horrid molds and bacteria that have been breeding for thousands of years unchecked. And let's not forget the lack of structural integrity of most of the tombs.
That's less than reassuring.
Oh dear, everybody dies, but life isn't worth living if you don't take a few risks. Although I guess I should stress that everyone dies much faster in the desert. Much, much faster.
Yeah, that's definitely less than reassuring.
Have you heard of the theory that aliens built the pyramids?
Oh, that old gem. Yes, who cares?
Who cares?
Well, unless they're sending us a bill, does it matter?
With all of your work, I assume you'd at least care.
Oh, no, dear. You mustn't let those things bother you. Some of us have keen observational skills and a rigid adherence to the scientific method. And some of us have thought processes that best resemble a piñata explosion at a sugar-fueled child's birthday extravaganza. Either way, if it encourages people to witness the marvels of ancient Egypt in person, it's good work, in my opinion.
I don't know. Professor Hotchkiss kind of sounds like a little bit of both.
Do you believe the Anunnaki exist?
You may as well be asking me if I believe Brian Abernathy Fortinbright exists. I don't know, and further I could only guess.
Is that a name you just made up?
Yes. Now, given the fact that there are 7+ billion people on Earth, it stands to reason that he may be a real person. And if we apply the Drake equation, we will find the astronomical, no wordplay intended, dear, number of habitable planets in the universe. It is possible that the Anunnaki may exist. But since the evidence is shaky at best, I am much more interested in the here and now.
Yeah.
Same here. You said the evidence of the Anunnaki is shaky. What evidence is there?
Some say if you look at the hieroglyphs, you'll see some of the figures holding flashlights.
Okay, that's strange.
Well, not exactly. It's easy to see what you want to see. Seeing the tombs always made me feel quite simply famished. As the long days would pass, the murals would become quite simply delicious. Osiris would be holding the most wonderful caramel flans. Reeds would be chicken wings, and Cypher for twisted flax would transmogrify into warm, straight out of the oven, garlic knots right before my eyes. My point is that you can see what you want to see, and what I want to see is that takeout menu for the Spicetown Speakeasy. I may have to put you on hold, dear. Just a moment.
I'm still on.
Hotchkiss here. I'd like baguette stuffed with mushroom and sautéed asparagus, and a beef jerky salad with caramel vinaigrette.
That can't be a real food item.
Is that still you, Norma?
Nancy?
Is this your first day at Spicetown? I'm Hotchkiss. We'll be talking to each other quite often. Would you kindly summarize your personality for me, for efficiency's sake?
No, it's Nancy Drew. Still on the line, still in Egypt.
Oh, drat and drat. Well, perhaps I'll just be dull and prepare myself a curried waffle sandwich.
Yeah, did I mention she likes food?
See ya.
Hotchkiss out.
Hotchkiss out. Alright, so I think we're going to call it there for now. We talked to a lot of people on the phone. Sorry we didn't really do a whole lot more other than that, but I'm hoping... Wait a minute. Wait a minute, there's a lamp! No. There's a lamp right there! Not the book, the lamp! Oh... Alright, well, we're going to have to find a lamp. So hopefully when we find a lamp, we can light it with the lighter and the oil and everything, and we can take it into the tomb and look around. But we'll concern ourselves with that hopefully next time. So until then, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video and enjoyed yourself today, be sure to leave a like or comment or subscribe. Lets me know that I'm doing something right and that you're enjoying the playthrough. And either way, I'll catch you on the flip side. So take care, and I will see you next time.